Hey there, folks. Chuck here, and I bought 12 pounds of diecast cars. So if you're bored, lonely, you enjoy living vicariously through other people's poor financial decisions, grab a beverage, sit down, and join me, won't you, as I go through this haul that I just found at my local flea market. I normally don't go to the flea market, and I had a free Saturday and thought, hey, I'll check this out. And I figured I'd find a lot of stuff like this. Just plasticky, weird nonsense from Mattel, of all places. Made for McD's. So, yeah, that kind of thing. But I was pleasantly surprised when I found a lot of stuff like this. Vintage Matchbox 57 Chevy. And I got a lot of these individually, and a lot of them kind of came in bags. I was going to do like a studs and duds or dope or nope kind of stuff. But most of these I picked, so there's going to be way too many studs and not that many duds, like this one. But I do have a soft spot for these weird knockoff cars. This one actually says Lancia on the bottom of it. Lancia Stratos Turbo, even though it's a very artistic representation of the car. But anyway, let's see, this is definitely one that was in the in one of the mass bags that this one guy was selling off his son's collection, and a lot of them are like this. And then I kept looking closer and I was like, oh, there's some cool old stuff in here. This is the Ford Shelby GFH concept from Hot Wheels. This is the Ferrari F50 from Hot Wheels. There's a no-name Camaro. But yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot of this, and then I find stuff like this Yatming Blazer. That's got this really awesome 70s graphics on it, opening doors. Looks like it's missing the dashboard of all things, but I love these old Yatmings so much, and I didn't think I'd find any of them, and there's quite a few, as you'll see. This is a Matchbox Ford panel van from the 90s, early 2000s. Still plenty of these rolling around. Fu Panda. Here's a Yatming Chevy LUV, or Love. It's based on Mitsubishi. This was theirs based on Mazda, I want to say. But yeah, that's cool. Found this cool, I think this is Road Champs? Yeah, Road Champs Winnebago. It's not quite 1/64 scale, but it's an amazing background vehicle. And it's close. I mean, there's this, and what's a close representation of actual 1/64 scale? All right, like this, another one. Holy cow! Old school blackwall Hot Wheels 79 Mustang. So I mean, it's not that far off. It's one of those mind over matter things. You don't mind, it don't matter. So yeah, that one's awesome. These ones are interesting because I just realized that the sides are actually the clear. Like, this must be all the same piece as the glass. And it just kind of wraps around. And there was a metal body, metal base on these things. So that's really fun. Very excited about that one. And then there's other ones. It's supposed to be a Mustang Cobra 2. Again, a very loose interpretation of that. This looks Trek Tune. This looks kind of like a Supra, I guess is what they were going for. But fantasy Hot Wheels car, not that exciting. Matchbox old Ford F100. That is exciting. I actually had this one as a kid. It originally had like a white plastic top, but like mine, it is no longer with us. Corgi Jr.'s US van. You might recognize this from... This is one of them. That's the Superman. This is one of the Superman vans. I didn't even realize that. It's awesome. I actually built one of these for my best friend Adam. You can see the link up here to the up there for the Corgi van build that I did for him. This is another Yatming, the ubiquitous Ford-ish van that they made. Looks like it's definitely seen better days, but I love these silly old vans so much. There was a guy that had several of these, and he knew what he had. Well, he thought he knew what he had. He thought he had a gold mine in Yatming, and I did not buy his Yatmings because he wanted like $5 each for them, which is not terrible, but for what I'm going for, I don't need them. Speaking of Yatmings, excuse me. Mercedes-Benz 350 SL. I was gonna say. So that's really cool. Some great malaise there. Summer Rolls-Royce. Not really anything super special there, but I do have an idea to do an old boneyard full of like 19-teens to 1930s cars, using one of the builds from the kits from SK75 Works. So some of these could come in handy for that. That's some generic Rolls-Royce-y looking thing. It's pretty awful looking, but oh well. Most of these were about $1 each. I was amazed at the deals I got on them. They were, a lot of them, super cheap, especially like a lot of the guys that the more you bought, the more you saved kind of thing. So this is an old Matchbox Mercedes. It's the G-Wagon. I thought originally it was one that lit up or something because of the way these things stuck through, but that's just plastic. So that's funky. Doesn't say what scale it is. It feels about right. There's a Maisto, kind of generic steak truck, but kind of liked that back. That could be useful for something. This was an unexpected find. This was in one of the grab bags. These things are pretty tricky to come by. This is a promotional Domino's vehicle. I think it was by ERTL. Yeah, ERTL. Replica Chevette. I like that it says replica so you don't get confused with the real thing. But yeah, I've only seen these castings as a Domino's promotion thing, and they're pretty hard to find on eBay. They're pretty expensive when they do show up. So yeah, that one's a very cool candidate for a build. And it fits sweetly in my malaise love, much like this Omni does. This is an old blackwall Hot Wheels. Of the many cars that have been made, nobody has made a Plymouth Valiant, none of the big guys anyway, in 1/64th scale. There's some Australian Valiant stuff out there, but you know, it's super expensive and hard to get over here. But of all the cars, as popular as Valiants were, nobody has bothered to make one. There's another one of the 79 Hot Wheels Mustangs. This one says SVO on it, although this is definitely not an SVO Mustang because it's got the quad headlight set up, and it's, I think this is a little too early still for the SVO because the SVO was 84 to 86, and this is definitely a 79 to like 82-ish looking one, or 83. But that's cool. Old metal with the gold plated black walls, and it's in really good shape actually. So might not be able to chop that one up. It might be too nice. This is the, I think it's called the Thunderburner, but it's very clearly a Ford Thunderbird stock car. It's got a little roll cage in it. Another metal black wall. Very cool find. There were a lot of black walls. I was really surprised at that. Like I wasn't expecting to find any red lines, and I didn't. But there were definitely a lot of black walls. So this is the flat out 442, which was loosely based on whatever the Oldsmobile version of the Citation was. I don't think they were. The 442 might have been a trim package, but this is like some weird hot rod dirt track stock car version. It wouldn't have lake pipes with a dirt track or a stock car, but it's a cool one. This is the closest I found to a red line. There was a Pack and Pacer in there, and it's dated 77, so this would have been, you know, after they switched to, I think 77 was the last year they did red lines. And even then, they weren't all red lines, but this is a black wall. But I think there was a red line version of the Pack and Pacer. But that's still very cool. That was one that's on my hit list that I didn't think I would find, let alone find it in a Ziploc bag of cars for like $5. So, good find. This one was interesting because it's rare you see cars with figures in them, such as they are. It's not much of a figure, but it's there. He's wearing a baseball cap for some reason. No name, like Can-Am Chaparral type looking thing. Another classic that shows up everywhere. The sort of Plymouth Fury, sort of Ford LTD, Hot Wheels, metal. Let's see, this one was funky. The Apache. Just says made in Hong Kong on the bottom, but it definitely has that Yatming-y Zylmex type feel on it. It says Chevrolet on the back, which is interesting. So it is actually branded. I don't know if they had permission to use that or not, but I thought that had a pretty funky setup there, and that engine, which appears to be a Hemi, if those things are supposed to be there where the spark plug wires would go. There's actually some pretty good detail in that. That could be moved into something else, and then this could, fall into my ever-growing pile of crappy square body castings. This one's fun. This is a Maesto Citroen 2CV. I think it's a little big for 1/64 scale, but it's proportioned pretty well. And so that could be a good background vehicle for a layout. This is cool. This is a Kenner Fast Ones, which I originally, first time I called it a Fast 111s or Fast 111s or something, but it was supposed to be Fast Ones. These things all had unique license plates, and unfortunately, the license plate on this one is missing. But they had these they all had the same weird bumper on the back. But, again, this is like a 79 to 83. I think this would have been more like an 82 or 83 because it's got the flat horizontal grille. Lake pipes on it. Pretty cool. Matchbox Camaro IROC Z28. IROC Z. I thought they were just called the IROC Z. So I guess this one had a hood that opened, and the hood is missing. But, for very little money with a bulk buy of cars. And this is one of the ones that I love. It's not really anything in particular. It's from Summer. It appears to have some kind of Fiat or BMW front that says Fire instead of Fiat, and Pippin, and Pippin, Fire, Summer, MS, VS. Okay, whatever. But kind of a cool European no-name sports car. This is cool. This is a Kidco. I actually knew what this was when I saw it. I think it was supposed to be based on a Ford van. Unfortunately, it's missing a little bit of the brush guard, but you know me, I can make a brush guard. Yeah, falls under that crappy 70s van knockoff casting stuff that I love. Something was on here. I don't know if it was like maybe a luggage thing or a roof rack of some kind. But I've seen box sets of these. And there's one at a local antique shop that keeps tempting me, but I'm not going to spend $12 on a brand new set of cars that I'm just going to chop up. So I know that would be much better held in some collector's hands than with me. It's been in its packaging for almost 40 years. I'm not going to be the person to crack it. Another Dodge Omni. So another car that inexplicably got a Hot Wheels casting besides any year of Valiant, but hey, why not? So yeah, that's very cool. If you haven't guessed yet, I love 70s and 80s malaise cars. Speaking of which, here's this looks like an 83 or 84 Mustang from Road Champs, which sadly is missing its convertible cover and its windshield, but opening doors, which actually have interior details like armrests and stuff, so that's cool. And yeah, so that's an unusual one to have turn up. Another Road Champs. This looks like an 83 Riviera, not unlike the one that's currently available from Matchbox, but this one's a little bit heavier because it's a metal car. And like that one, it has opening doors. It's got an actual detailed steering wheel, and not bad dashboard either. And it's missing the convertible cover, so I wonder if I could take the windshield from one of the current ones and put it on this one. That's one of those spots I'm weakest on, is glass. It's tricky to do, as you may have noticed the time I stuck a piece of glass, not glass, but the plastic for my Cyber Cab in the toaster oven. And it did not end well. So, anyway, I'm going to adjust the light here. Speaking of malaise, the Murata Stalker, which is part of the series of vehicles that I love finding. I love finding the Murata Stalker, the Chevy Stalker, or the Monty, I think it's called the Monty Stalker, the Torino stalker, and the, what's the other one? The Front Run in Fairmont is kind of the other stalker. But yeah, I just love those because they look like low-budget stock car racers from the late 70s, early 80s. This must have been one of the ones from bulk buy. D80. It's Hot Wheels, but yeah, that's plastic. This is Hot Wheels Peterbilt. So I think this was originally like a delivery truck or something, or maybe a cement mixer. But another old school black wheels, or black walls, metal. It's a Hot Wheels Ballistic. That was definitely in a bag. The Chrysler LeBaron from Road Champs. That's pretty cool. Again, missing the back and the windshield. So somebody enjoyed abusing their Road Champs cars. So that's a shame, because this is actually one that was on my radar and on my hit list. But got one now. I just now have to do something with it. This is the Maisto 69 Dodge Charger RT. It's fun. It's not a great casting, but it's not bad. It's a good background filler car. It'd be a good candidate for a General Lee build, I guess. But just because it's the right year. And it's about the right size. It's not a bad scaling. Pretty lightweight, though. Yatming, Pontiac Trans Am. Definitely seen better days. I think we've got a few of these missing wheel, and they're all missing the doors. It's a common thing to lose on these things, but be a good junker. This is a Majorette. That's in 260Z, 1/60th scale. It's rare you see the 260 because that was like a 1 year only, I think. They did the 260 before jumping to the 280. But it's got the little tab for keeping trailers on still, so that's very cool. Opening doors. Doesn't look too banged up other than the paint chipping, so that'd be a fun project. Feels like a Matchbox. It is. Matchbox ambulance, based on a Ford. Here's a biggie. This is a Corgi MAN truck. It's a man truck. So this is some kind of Texaco promotional thing. But again, pretty close to 1/64th scale. Well, there it is next to, what is this? This is a Kidco 63 Corvette. I think I've built enough of these in my life. I think I've done at least 3 now, of the Hot Wheels ones. This one's a little nicer. It looks like it had an opening hood. Feels a little bigger than the Hot Wheels one. And this looks like a no-namer. No-namer CJ7 Jeep-ish looking thing. More like cheap-ish looking thing. Am I right? Hey, I'll be here all night. Maisto. This one was interesting. It's looks like a Ford Bricknose era tow truck. Odd kind of, I guess this would have been like a My First Maisto setup. It's in surprisingly good shape. So it came with a couple of extras. This weird little police vehicle in these Harlequin colors, motorcycle, and where's the other one? We'll get to that one in a minute. Another Kidco 1979 Camaro, opening hood. Looks like this one might have been repainted at some point, because there's a lot of red underneath this black. But that's fun. This is definitely a Hot Wheels, made in Malaysia. I think this is supposed to be a Jeep. Hot Wheels Porsche Carrera. Feels really big. I wonder if this is one of the Corgi ones that they had after they bought Corgi, because it feels big, and that underside does not feel like a Hot Wheels. Interesting. Matchbox Racing. This is a good old standard of Matchbox. Feels like it's been around forever, but it's the 4x4 Chevy van. There's been a lot of different versions of that one, but love the old school racing aesthetic on it. This was definitely rapid transit with a Star Wars theme on it. It was definitely in a bulk bag. Another one of the blown Camaro Z28s from Hot Wheels. The gold-plated black walls. This is the BMW M1, I think. Wind splitter, yes, based on the M1. And it feels like it should have an opening thing, but I don't think it does open. Yeah, there's nothing under there. It's got the old slotted Hot Wheels wheels on it. And this one's weird because it's a Pontiac Fiero and it feels and looks a lot like the Hot Wheels one, but it's not. So I'm pretty sure that was a twin rivet and it was a metal and it had a different base on it. But it's about the same size as the Fiero. It's actually one that I was planning to build for season 1 that I never got to. Turns out I had like half the cars that I had planned for season 1 never got made, but they're still on the list, and I actually started shooting some of them way back when, so there's going to be some weird continuity issues when I finally get to them. There's a Road Champs 83 Porsche 928. That's very cool. The opening doors. Again, no dashboard or steering wheel. But yeah, this one, I cannot believe I found this one. This one made my day. It's a Yatming. It's just labeled as a Dodge, although a lot of people have labeled it as a Plymouth Volare. I think it is actually meant to be a Dodge Aspen. I know this because my brother owned one. And leads to the thing where pretty much everybody in my family has had a car that has been made into a diecast car except for me. And there's been no Comanches, and there's been no Valiants, and no Toyota Cressidas that I'm aware of. I'm sure one of the Japanese brands has done one, but okay. So here's another one of those Kenner fast ones, and this one has the license plate actually on it. So YB-B583. So they would have all had unique states. Like I think I've got one that says Georgia on it. But these are just fun. Not particularly accurate, but it's just a fun casting. Jaguar Xj220, I think was what it was called. 1992. Hot Wheels. It was definitely a bulk buy. No name, but this is definitely the Chevy Chevette, I believe. Yeah, this isn't the Vega, this is the Chevette. So, yeah. Somebody at some point was like, yes, people will want a tiny Chevette. And we'll go through the trouble of giving it opening doors. So, this is probably a knockoff of a Yatming or something. The detailing on it's surprisingly good. Actually, the proportions are nice. Oh. This feels like a knockoff of a Hot Wheels car. I think this is supposed to be a Duesenberg. That's my cat telling me it's treat time, even though he just had treats. Something that is supposed to be a Porsche, but isn't, and is apparently full of carpet lint. Gross. Some random off-brand Jeep. That one doesn't even have like a country of manufacturer on the bottom of it. It's got a jerry can and a weird spare tire-ish looking thing. And a brush guard. Those are useful. There's that Lancia again, except this time there's nothing on the bottom that says that, so that's where it would have said that. Another Yatming van, the delightful van, as it was often called, with Desert Sun. This one's surprisingly heavy. Little off-road Hot Wheels car. D77 Ferrari 308. It's got this weird kind of canard spoilery thingy on the back of it. I don't remember the 308 having. But hey, Magnum PI, right? this one's really nice. This is a Majorette, late model Majorette. Like, really nice. This one is too nice. It's got lenses. It's got the V12 detailing on it. It's got a license plate. Multicolored interior, multi-piece interior. Rear view mirror. Windshield wipers are actually windshield wipers. I'm gonna set that one aside. That one is really nice. I'll have to talk to David over at Twice Diecast about that one. Some kind of Lamborghini Countach knockoff. Don't know what this is. Matchbox E2 Kenworth. Might be able to do something fun with that front. It's a classic, the promotional Ego Model A Ford. That one is also in really nice shape. Set that one aside too. It's got a little scuffage on the back, but it turned out really nice. Cole over at Kuda's Diecast Customs, or Kuda's Custom Diecast, just did a video on weathering, and that was what inspired my 32 panel truck build. This is an old school one. This is another one of those ones that is like borderline red line era, copyright 1975. I can't remember what this one was called, but love the graphics on it. It's based loosely on some kind of IndyCar type thing. So that one might be worth recreating. Just love that old school Evel Knievel type graphics. Another one that's the Royal Flash. It's basically a Lotus Esprit, 1978. Hot Wheels Blackwall metal car. Another Hot Wheels metal. Not really sure what this one is, but it's definitely based on like a 32 Ford. Weird little steering wheel. That one at least would be an easy one to fix the glass on. Another one of those knockoff Duesenberg type things. There's two of them. That's cool. Wow. It's another one that's metal, but definitely past the Blackwall era. It's got some good potential there. It's like before the Bone Crusher or whatever it's called. How am I blanking on like the most popular Hot Wheels right now? So this is the Hot Wheels version of the 308, which feels much better. This one has definitely seen better days. I don't know how you'd have to work to get this much paint off of the car. The Race Bait 308. It's another old school Blackwall Hot Wheels. Metal. Sunset Trucking. Love that graphic. Well, another Corgi. A Morris truck. Again, definitely seen better days. It's missing all the headlights and stuff. But this would be a great back of a boneyard type thing. Oh, here's the other one from that, like my first Maisto set. The Suzuki SJ4130. We call them the Samurai over here. But it's in surprisingly good shape. It's got a little nubbin steering wheel. It's kind of bent, but yeah. Very interesting color choice on those. Oh, this is another one that's really cool. This is Maesto. Toyota from the old Super Truck stuff. Like, I think this was like, it says Hickey on the side, but this would have been like the Mickey Thompson truck. The video game was based on from it was on NES, and it was a very popular arcade game. It was called like Super Off-Road. They did not pay $2.99 for that. No way. That is an old school. Another car that could be for the Old Works diorama. Another old school. This is the Z-Wiz. It's definitely based on the old 240. And it has definitely seen better days, so that's going to be a challenge for me to see if I can pound that back into place. What else we got? Summer. The knockoff, not Pirelli Rally Champion Ferrari. I don't even know what that is. Made in Macau. Some kind of cartoony pullback thing. Kidco. Is that 79? Well, this one looks like it's a Trans Am. The other one was a Camaro. Opening heading in. Knockoff 63 Corvette. 1996 Ford Galaxy. It's just a fun minivan. It's got an interesting taxi topper. Might be useful on another build. Studebaker based Hot Wheels called Mosquito. Don't know what this is, but love the graphics on it. Again, all that old school Evel Knievel stuff. This is definitely feels like a Matchbox. Ah, it's a Matchbox. You got me. It's interesting. It's got like a little bent rim in there. There's some cool toolboxes on the back of it. This one's definitely one that I saw and was like, I can use parts from that. Another Yatming. This is the Chevy Love again. It's missing the grill, but a lot of opportunity there. Racing Champions 49 Ford. It's very cool. My first weathered build was a 49 Ford. I've actually got a video planned about that one, so this one might come into play there. No name C3 Corvette. There's that generic racer with the ball cap wearing driver again. My cat is telling me all sorts of lies right now. This is the Morris Dragster from Hot Wheels. I think it would be funny to go through all the trouble of trying to make it look like it was stock again. Probably a fool's errand given there's some kind of cartoony proportions there, but it's kind of cool. Uh-oh, my nemesis. I don't hate this casting, it's just strange. Like, this front area bothers me, because even when it's initially together, it just doesn't work. Like, there's just this weird gap down there. And it feels like it's just doesn't fit right. I definitely had this one at some point. I think this one might have been, it definitely feels like a McDonald's Happy Meal one, because it's super light, and it's got the plastic base on it. This is one I had when I was little. My brother might still have it. Sonic Flashers. So, well, mine was in better shape than this. But it used to light up and have a little woo sound on it. So, that's fun. Ford Ranger from Motomax. So that's very cool. Actually, I'll have to show that to Colin, because JC Auto Parts owner Colin Wright is a big Ranger guy. He's had quite a few. It's kind of a generic. Can't tell if this is supposed to be based on the Porsche or based on a like a 73 Mustang. It's kind of a little of each. This one looks like it's supposed to be based on a BMW, but it is not. It's the Hot Wheels forklift. It's actually branded with Caterpillar. That's interesting. But it's definitely missing some pieces. This is the Matchbox Explorer. What is it? Exploring back truck. Well, I think it's based on an old Nissan truck. I thought originally it was Chevy based, but it is not. This one was just fun. I don't know what it. Cliffhanger. It's tiny. Like it's a teeny tiny car, much smaller than the usual Matchbox car. But I thought that was just a really fun one. This was definitely one that was in a bulk thing. Aventador. Knockoff Corvette. That was definitely in one of the bulk ones. Another one of those guys. Dodge Viper from Matchbox. Summer. What's that? Same. What was it? Lancia again. Escort rally car. Currently dominating the DRC over at 3D Bot Maker. This one's it's that Exploring truck again. Explorer open. 4x4 open back truck. Okay. Yeah. I don't know why I saw Explorer originally. I guess it was the X. This is another one of those ones that I just loved from my childhood. The MX-5, or the Miata, as it was called over here. It's just a metal, and I just like the way this one fits together. The seam line is way up here, so it just kind of feels, it's just a really solid car. Another one of those knockoff Duesenberg guys. This one was cool. It's from Days Gone, manufactured in England. Looks like it's based on like a Ford Model A. It's definitely seen better days, but it's got rubber tires on it. So, and it actually looks like it's properly scaled too. It's probably a little big, but I don't mind, so it don't matter. Ford Crown Vic. This is Matchbox. It's the old first generation. I think this was supposed to be a 2002 is when it's copywritten. So this would have been pre-98 though. So yeah, that's cool. This is another one that I think this was my brother's car, but we definitely had this 62 Corvette. It's a great design. Last year that the Corvette had a official trunk. Oh, this was a cool find. Check this guy out. This is the Mercedes-Benz C-111 from Hot Wheels. Again, amazing tampo work. It's got a proper steering wheel. Look at all the dust that's coming off of these things. Opening doors. Very cool find. It's a Matchbox Land Rover Defender, it looks like. Yep. I forget what this guy is called, but it was, I love these because they were actually based on the Dodge Rampage, which I heard is coming back, and I'm very excited about that. I will be definitely buying quite a few of those. The 82 Rampage is coming back. Also, this one I thought was cool as a kid because it had 3 windshield wipers, which again would not make sense on a car based on the Dodge Rampage because it was a very narrow car. And this is the Bryant's Snow and Dirt Removal. Unfortunately, it's missing its snow plow, but this is a classic. This was, I think it was originally called the Bywayman, or Highwayman. I think it was called Bywayman. But they did several different versions of it. There was one with like a camper back. But this is the original metal with the details in the back, and very cool car. I think there's another one in here as well. This is the old Hot Wheels Blazer 4x4, which is cool because it's got the, this is the one that had the opening doors. I don't care for the yellow glass particularly, but they released a different version of it that had like a clear roof, and came out recently with the Americana series. Aston Martin from Hot Wheels, the DB10. Not a particularly nice casting, feels very lightweight. Knockoff Countach, and knockoff Miura. Well, this one is a metal. It's actually not terrible. It's just not branded. This one, I just got one of these from Wade in his unboxing video. But yeah, this is a 78 Lesney Matchbox Ford RS 2000 Escort. It's very cool. It's not in horrible shape. It'd be a pretty easy custom job. This is some kind of not quite Camaro. Valvoline's 10 Most Wanted 67 Camaro Z28. That doesn't seem right. I'm pretty sure it was not called the Z28 in 1967, and that is definitely not what the front of the 67 Camaro looked like. But okay. Copyright Valvoline Inc. 1990. Audi Quattro from Yatming. Plastic base, but it's a Yatming, and I love Yatmings. Wow. Somebody stepped on that thing. This is another fun one. I thought this was a Matchbox, but it's not. It's a real toy. Actually, the more I look at it, the more I'm going, why did you think this was a Matchbox? This is terrible. But it's kind of a Land Rover-esque looking thing. Some weird kind of crew cab knockoff. But that files firmly under my crummy square bodies addiction. Another one of those knockoff race cars. This one was kind of cool just because it had a little whip antenna type thing, just like my car. And interesting roll cage. Don't know what I'll do with it, but it's part of the bulk buy, so I didn't say no. Let's see, Ford Bronco, Matchbox, Dodge Magnum, which I thought was interesting. I actually know somebody with an SRT8 Magnum, so I'll send this to him. He'll get a kick out of that. I think this is supposed to be, yeah, this is supposed to be a Toyota Celica. Celica Turbo. Oddly, it's got like slots in the glass, which is not a super easy thing to do. So it's got like a super cheap base, but then it's got like this surprisingly involved piece of plastic. Oh, this was a cool find. This is the Matchbox Citron Ds from 1968. It's got an interesting metal flake paint and a chrome interior, which is not ideal, but they did give it little details on the taillights and painted headlights, and that one will be a very fun one to build. This is the it's not the oldest version of the 67 Camaro, but it does still have the opening hood. It's got the more modern wheels on it. This was called the Heavy Chevy originally, or something like that. This one was a fun one. Maisto, I think this is a Continental Mark 7. Yeah. So that's a weird one. Another one of those, okay, I guess, yeah, those cars existed. But I'm glad I found it, because that is right up my Malaysia alley, just like this turbo heater, which is definitely based on the Chrysler Laser, which I think was also the... No. Was it the Daytona? Yeah, I think this is based on the Chrysler Laser. Is this hood open? Looks like the hood opens. Yep, hood opens. Lucky I didn't destroy it just then. That's cool. I didn't know the hood opened on this one. That's fun. I think this, yeah, Fiat 500 altered funny car. Another one's got a lot of fun parts on it. Hey, another one of these guys. Hot Wheels Camaro Z28 from back when it still had a metal base and the gold black walls. That is a thing that existed. 2005 Corvette. This one I thought was interesting. It's not particularly in good shape, but the chassis has a lot of cool detail that I could definitely pillage off of, and these are all separate pieces. It's got a like complete engine in there, so that one's going to be a fun one to strip down. Another old Deuce hot rod with the little louvers on the back. And this is a Ford Falcon of the Australian variety, I would believe. So, Matchbox. It's got a roll cage in it. Well, that's cool. Another Summer. I think this is supposed to be based on a Volvo. Kind of a Volvo, kind of a Mercedes looking thing. Zylmex Fork Life truck. Okay. That one's definitely seen better days. That was in a plastic bag. This one's in surprisingly good shape. This is the flare side pickup. This is Ford. This is F-150 on the side. Yeah, this is another one of those taste of childhood. I definitely had this one. It was in nowhere near this nice a shape. It was definitely really banged up. This is a fun one. This is a Cunningham, which they were actually made here in Florida. It was kind of a precursor to the Shelby Cobra, They were pretty good racers from what I've heard. I actually got to see one in person in Chicago. The guy was driving on the street, which was amazing. So that's very cool. His was a two-seater though. Like you can kind of see there was a seat under here that was covered up, but his was converted so that you could drive with the passenger. There's that XJ220 again. This one's cool. So I had this car exactly like this. And again, not nearly this nice a shape. And I never really liked it that much because it rolled way worse than this one. But it came on a belt, an elastic belt with a magnetic clasp that had the soft end of the Velcro on it. And the reason why this never rolled is because it had the toothy end of the Velcro underneath it. So of course it would not do anything on carpet and it would rub on hard surfaces. But you could wear this as the belt buckle. So if you ever needed a toy car, you had one right on your belt buckle. And I thought that was the most amazing thing ever. And I still kind of do. It's a Maserati from Hot Wheels. The Quattroporte, I believe. Yes. Another Zylmex. Yeah, I saw this one and I had to have it because, again, this is just so 70s-tastic. It's got weird stack pipes on it. And a surprising metal setup. Again, this is one that barely rolls. Like it pretty much drags the bottom. But, oh well. We're almost done. I'm sure you're all already have jumped away. But if you've stuck with me so far, I really appreciate it. Thank you. I just wanted to share these finds with people who would appreciate them, and I don't really have that many people here that do. So, it's a Matchbox Blaze Buster. It's just kind of interesting. Don't really know what I would do with it. Maybe a Gaslands build or something, but it's kind of a fun one. This is the Hot Wheels Range Rover. This is one that was on my list, so I'm glad I found that one. It's kind of the forerunner to the SUV, much like the original Forerunner was. The Badlander from Matchbox, not really based on anything, but kind of a cool modern off-road thing. Play art? No. Corvette Stingray. That one has definitely seen better days too. How do you get that much paint off it? You have to actually work at that. So that's kind of a fun off-the-wall one. This one's interesting because this one is definitely based on that like Super Van and Hot Wheels, that fire engine that they had for years and years, because it's got that same front grille. But it's kind of cool that it had this little drop-down thing. I could do something with the back of this and put something much cooler on the front. Another weird knockoff old-timey crank start vehicle for my antique boneyard. And this forklift was just very cool. It's Hot Wheels. It's in surprisingly good shape. It's from that weird era where they had switched away from the black walls, but they still had some weird big black walls on some things. You know, copyright 1979, but yeah, that one's in really nice shape. The Wasp. So the Hot Wheels. I think this was actually based on a real car, though. Interesting. Another old school Hot Wheels. 1973. It's a blackwall era, but it does have a plastic base. Still fun. This is one we had as a kid too, although the roof was kind of crushed in on it. But it's kind of cool to run across weird stuff, especially knockoff stuff like that none of those survived. Some of them did. Chevy Caprice police car with a weird fire department type logo setup. Those are always handy to have. This looks like it's supposed to be a GTO. What is that? Letraset Products. Okay. They put the brand name on the top of the car. Not particularly a SpongeBob fan, but it's kind of a cool 55 Chevy convertible. There's that Hot Wheels Blazer 4x4 again. Still, unfortunately, with the yellow glass, but hey. This one was cool. Just this high-speed China 1939 Ward LaFrance on the bottom. I think that was a Chevy. It very much looks like a Chevy grill on the front of it. That one has a lot of cool potential, and it's just about 1/64 scale. It's got these interesting dually axles in the back. Another one of those knockoff old-timey cars, number 303. Hot Wheels Ballistic again. This one I thought was very cool. Just this DKF1 made in China. It's an airport service vehicle. Again, something that you don't always find. I think it's interesting that the seats are... Actually, I think this is all part of a metal casting, but it's a plastic base, but that's definitely metal. It's interesting. Another old-timey fire truck. It was made exclusively for Chevron in England. And those are actual, like, it's not rubber, but it's like a soft plastic. Oh, that's fun. Oh, here it is. Midnight Removal. And he's still got his little front guy, his snowplow. But he has definitely seen better days, so I might be able to combine the two. Make one decent one out of it. Squidward! 1921 Model T Ford from Matchbox. One of those ones that would be great for a old-timey boneyard. And Supervan. Supervan does show up a lot in these old collections. This is one of those ones that they just made forever and kept on making them, but this is a metal Supervan. Blackwall era, so it is extra special. There's that weird little cliffhanger guy again. It's just a fun car. This is another one that I didn't think I'd find in the wild. It's a Nissan Prairie. It's like an old minivan from the 90s. That, you know, another one of those, okay, I guess that existed, but fun for like a suburb type setting. And ice cream van. This is interesting because this one actually has a metal front to it. And the one that's out now, all of this is plastic. But I think it's interesting that at some point they were like, well, we'll make a play at doing a die-cast body on it, but not do a very good job of matching any of that up. So this is one of those rare instances where I think the newer plastic one is probably better, because that was just hideous. Another Fiero, this time the Matchbox 2nd gen. This would be the, like, I think this was 86-ish. They switched, it's copyright 85, but this would have probably been the 86 model year. They switched to the newer style. The Anglia again from episode 2. I built one of these. It was my first 3 blind mice challenge, and that was a lot of fun. And now Colin over at JC Auto has it. So that was a really fun thing to surprise him with. Matchbox Nissan Xterra. They recently released this one in their moving parts series, and it looks like this one does have an opening back. It just doesn't want to cooperate. So, yellow glass is unfortunate, but oh well. Speaking of yellow glass, there's another one of those Matchbox ambulances. Don't know what this is. It says CC Render. This one's just funny because it's definitely Alfa Romeo based, but it just says Hell and an 8 on it. So this is the number 8 Hell car. Maybe it was because it was a green car. Green is bad luck in racing. This looks like it was at some point a pullback vehicle. This was definitely not one that I picked individually, but it's kind of fun. It says Toyota 4-wheel drive. It's got a Chevy bow tie on it. Oh well. Bronco 2. No name, just says made in China on the bottom, but it looks like it's kind of based on the I think it was Matchbox that did the Bronco 2. Another knockoff square body. It's got that Apache logo again. That would definitely not fly today. But Aston Martin again. I think, yep, Aston Martin. Hot Wheels. Looks like somebody tried to do a little customizing on this one. Don't know what it originally said on here, but it's got some awesome 70s graphics, no doubt, on it. Willys! Actually a little low on my Willys count, so it's nice to have one to round out that part of my collection. Maisto off-road vehicle. It's just kind of a fun off-road thing. Majorette Toyota 4x4. 153rd scale, so this thing's huge. But still cool. It's still got the flip-up plastic part in the back, so that's nice. Matchbox 55 Bel Air again. This one's definitely been stepped on. Is that Morris again? MC Rover. Was it a Rover? The Queen Anne's Revenge 2, it says. And to wrap things up, last but certainly not least, found this for $5, which is awesome. It's a really good price. And I've been looking for that Chevy Suburban, so it's nice to have that in my collection. And the Jeep CJ5 has been a popular one for people doing requests for me. And oh, there's a few more left. Go through these really quick. And Dodge Viper, I think, yeah, Hot Wheels. Matchbox Crown Vic again. This time it's doing math. 4 minus 2 is 2. And 3 minus 2 is 1. And 2 plus 3 is 5. Okay, cool. Math. Oh, this is a Real Riders. Oh, sounds like the cat just knocked something over. That's cool. Real Riders IndyCar. Did not realize that was in there. And one that's been on my list for a while, the Thunder Roller. And it was still in the box, which is really cool. It's one of the later versions of it, but that's still fun. It's hard to find these things, and I got it for less than I've seen open ones go for. I'm gonna crack it, because YOLO. Anyway, this is one that I've been itching to build, because it's one of the few times that they actually tried to get something close to 1/64 scale for a semi-truck with Hot Wheels, and that is an awesome find. So, anyway, if you've stuck around with me this long, that's amazing, and you're amazing. Thank you. Leave a comment, let me know which one's your favorite, and if you want to see me build any of these, which one you want to see build. There's a lot of them that I want to build, and I will probably never get to them, but it was fun to dream and find a lot of cars for very little money. So, as always, I want to thank you for coming along with me for the ride. So until next time, stay fresh, cheese bags.